Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space in my backyard. Today, we are going to finish planting out this garden, but first, we have to go shopping. Be satisfied. All right, strawberry harvest today. Oh my goodness, it looks so good, y'all. I've never had such a good strawberry harvest. This is probably a third or fourth time, maybe even fifth, who knows, but how exciting. I'm excited to have these. Anywho, what are we doing today? We have to harvest that other oregano bush. It is getting way too big. I just want to go ahead and harvest the other oregano that I harvested a little while ago in the house, drying. So, works out well. Almost dry, actually. We need to do another line for the tomatoes. We're gonna plant out all of those things that we purchased today. And then we're gonna say, oh, we're gonna pull the lettuce. I'm gonna give it all to the chickens. What they eat, what they don't, it will compost in their area. So essentially, I'll be compost in place. I may put some in the compost pile too, which that compost pile really needs to be turned in. I just don't have it in me. I don't feel like turning that compost pile. So we won't be turning that today. Oh, and I'm gonna fertilize. I think it's probably been a week or two. I see another red strawberry. I'm gonna grab that real quick. I'll be back. Another thing I plan to do today is to plant out my second round of beans. So the first round of beans have come up. I'm gonna plant out my second round of beans as well. Probably in the further cinder block bed. I'm gonna put some more beans out there. It's a wonderful day to be doing this. It is overcast, but also still warm. I think it's supposed to rain, so I think this is a perfect day for me to go ahead and do this. And so let us get to work, y'all. I'm so excited about these strawberries. So some of these I'm pulling out, some of these I'm cutting out because lettuce will grow back. Why am I so close to you all? Anyway, some of these will grow back and I'm okay with that. So like the marble of 4 seasons, it doesn't seem to be bolting quick. However, the red romaine it was a straight up and down stick. So I'm pulling the red romaine out. This butter crunch, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. That seemed to have been bolting, but I'm gonna leave a few of those too because they may grow back. It's starting to rain. Oh no. They may grow back too, so I'm leaving a few of those because if they grow back in the summer and they don't bolt, that would be cool and I would still have lettuce. So that's my plan. But right here, I'm gonna put the watermelon plant. So let me get to work because it's definitely sprinkling. I don't know if it's supposed to actually rain today, but it's very overcast. That was a marvel of 4 seasons that was definitely about to bolt. So I pulled her all the way out. That is some kind of very sticky weed that grows all over my property. So I just cut it off. It's gonna grow back. I just cut it out every time I see it. Ow! Very sticky weed. So because the lettuce was growing in this bed, I had not amended it. When I first put the lettuce in, I do think that I had a fresh layer of compost on it, but I hadn't amended it. So I'm gonna do some granulated fertilizer. Watermelon is heavy feeders. They feed very heavily. So I'm gonna fertilize this portion with some granulated fertilizer, and then I'm gonna come through at least once a week in the beginning and make sure that I give them fish emulsions. I'm gonna attempt to remember to come through every week and give them fish emulsions. So I'm just gonna put them right here in this little section. There are onions in here too. If you remember, we interplanted onions with the lettuce. They are not doing so well right now, but maybe now that they can get a good amount of light, they will. And then we'll put something else on this trellis. We have a volunteer sunflower here, volunteer sunflower there. We're just gonna leave them and let them grow. Watermelon planted. Let's move on to the basil. So my plan with the basil is to have it kind of dispersed all through the garden, which is why I bought a pot that big with that many basil plants in it. We loved basil tea. I loved basil tea. I don't know if my daughter really enjoyed it. I'm not sure. I liked the basil tea. And so those are the basil plants that I tried to start. Oh! I don't know what kind of bug that was, but it was on my arm. And so I'm just gonna let them go. I may put them in there, let the chickens pick in them, and then pour the dirt out, you know, whatever. But I bought more basil, so I plan to disperse it all throughout the garden with the peppers and the tomatoes, just kind of everywhere, honestly, because I want a lot of basil. So let's get to planting that. We're gonna keep planting that out around the garden. It is definitely sprinkling. If it continues, I'm gonna put you up on the porch because I'm gonna continue to plant. Sprinkling is not a big deal for me, but it's a big deal for my camera. I found a borage volunteer. I'm gonna move her somewhere. Not sure where though. Let's find out. Sprinkling, y'all. Let's see. What if I have a brick open? A brick hole. I do. I'm gonna put her in this brick hole. I have no idea what this is. It's growing everywhere. I don't know what it is. Do you know what this is? Has a very deep taproot, it appears. I don't know. I'm gonna throw it right there. Okay, so all the basil is planted out. I'm gonna start on the marigolds. Another thing I want, there are so many bugs out here this morning, and I don't mind them, but you know, when they get too close. So it stopped drizzling, kind of. No, it's still drizzling. But I'm gonna plant out the marigolds now, which I think I got like, I don't know, maybe 4 packs of 4. So I got a lot of marigolds that I'm just gonna put around everywhere in the garden too. All right, it has stopped raining. Let's go back down in the garden. I don't know if y'all saw, but I pulled up the lettuce that was right here. I'm gonna put some marigolds right here too, but something else as well. I had my straw flowers and asters. Well, 1 aster, 1 straw flower. So we're gonna go ahead and put them here too. So basically, this is gonna be a small little flower section. And right here, 2 of my, I think these are my squash, the delicata squash that I like. I'm pretty sure I planted more than 2, but at least 2 came up. So that's a plus. We're gonna let this trellis have that. We may add something to it as the season goes, but I really want those squash. So we're gonna go ahead and plant a little bug. There's all kind of bugs in here. Like the soil is definitely alive, y'all. We got P.O Box. We know those could or could not be bad, depending on what they're eating. But I'm gonna leave them. There is a beetle down here. Don't know what kind. I saw a spider. There's ants. There's worms. There's all kind of life in here. So we're gonna plant this stuff out and let them go about their business. Straw flowers, I think, are supposed to be planted more when it's still cool. We're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna put this straw flower in here and see what happens. These are straw flowers from seed, but again, didn't pay attention to them, didn't really take care of them. So, this is an aster. It's a yellow one. I'll be happy to have at least one in my garden. And they did start to sprout and stuff. But these are part of my neglect. My neglected starts. Put the leaves back. The few leaves that were here. This was the straw flower. That's a silvery rose, so that should be pretty. All right. That's the sunflower that we transplanted when I found it in the compost pile. It struggled very badly, but she bounced back, so that'll be nice. Hey, on to planting more marigolds. I think I'm gonna pull this lettuce too. Go ahead and give that to the chickens. We're not even actually eating it, and I feel like it's probably rather bitter at this point because it's been pretty hot here. Let's see. It's very bitter. I gave that to someone the other day. But I did tell him, I said, he's a gardener too. But I said, if it's bitter, just throw it away. You know how that works. Oh my God, that was so bitter. I could taste that from like just it touching my tongue. Ew. That was nasty, y'all. I'm just gonna pull all of this out since I left some of them over there. And on it, I doubt they're gonna eat it all, but it's a treat for today. I should have put some granulated fertilizer in there, but in the other bed, but I forgot. But we're gonna go ahead and do that in this bed. Look how dark that soil is. That looks amazing. I love it. Nice black soil. Let me get the fertilizer. All right, what's gonna go here? Let's see. My camera is overheating and it's raining again. I will see you all in a moment.
Crazy little chicken. I would whack out with this bag.
If you give them the treats, they will stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need water. It is the next day. The rain was not playing with me trying to record. So we are back out here. I am going to show you what I did get put down. There are more strawberries that's ready to be harvested. And I told my kids, I said, we got to eat these strawberries. I took my time and I learned and we gonna eat these strawberries. We got like a Ziploc bag, a gallon one, pretty much full. I'm pretty excited about that. So let me show you what I did yesterday. The garden is planted out, I believe. I think this trellis right here on that side needs something planted on it. It'll probably be more beans. I did not plan out my next round of beans. I do still have to do that. But the garden is pretty much planted out and I'm just waiting for summer and for my harvest at this point, y'all. So if you remember, there was all the lettuce here. I have put in the watermelon, which we did on camera together. So my plan is we have all of this space. I'm gonna get rid of that wheelbarrow that, you know, I still haven't replaced and also haven't gotten rid of. I did take out the little conduit that would hold up the covers. I took it out. Someone said a while ago, like, that's not safe. And my daughter, trip the other day, and she definitely almost fell on it. And I was like, yep, that's my cue. So I took them out because I don't want her to get hurt or me to get hurt. I don't want anybody to get hurt, honestly. So my plan, because I've never had success growing them up the trellises, so my plan is just to let them vine and do whatever they're gonna do all on this side. And if I'm lucky, I will grow some watermelon this year. My daughter loves watermelon. I have not successfully grown a watermelon, so excited about that. The next thing I did is all the lettuce is also gone over here and over here. I put in some dill. So these are some of my own starts. They were a part of the neglected starts, but they were still trying to grow, so I put them in. This is, I believe, cucumber. So I got these from my local feed and seed. There's a dill right there, and then there's a dill right there. There are still onions attempting to grow on this side, but I planted out sunflowers and dahlias. I just direct sowed them because I did start them. They were also a part of my neglected seedlings. And so I put them out there. I'm hoping they come up. I really love dahlias. I wasn't able to find any started dahlias at Lowe's or Home Depot. No, I didn't go to Home Depot. Lowe's or my local feed and seed store yesterday. So planted those out, hoping they come up because I really love dahlias for indoor cut flowers. Over here, we had a few sunflowers from the neglected ones that were still trying to grow. They looked much better yesterday. It rained, so I don't know if it's the rain or if something ate them. They all looked like this yesterday when I put them in. There's also some basil that I put in here, and those are from the local feed and seed store. They also look pretty beat up, but I'm gonna leave them. The other thing that I did was I went ahead and put basil in this bed. And I think cucumbers also. And the other ones may have been squash. Yes, those were squash. The ones that were in between the dill, those were squash. Yellow early, I think, squash. Those were not cucumbers. The cucumbers are on this trellis right here. So then I put more basil down in here in between the tomatoes. And so that should grow up pretty nicely. I am very much wanting lots and lots of basil. Basil can get big, and so it's not a bad thing that I put those over here by this trellis, because if I need to trellis them, I can. So excited about that. I also started working on doing more strings on my Florida weave for the tomatoes. But there are like so many flowers, tomato flowers out here already. I'm excited about that. So a little bit of hand pollination. Although there's been lots and lots of bees and different, you know, flying creatures out here. Oh, look, she's taking the chickens outside. Go ahead. She's gonna start trying to work them into the flock. So she's taking them outside. They are what? Maybe 4 weeks old, close to 4 weeks now. So we're gonna start putting them outside in the crate over here with the old chickens. We're gonna start putting them out here with the chickens that we already have so they can start to get used to them. Because with it being warm, they can come out probably at 6 weeks. So there they are. We have one extra in case, I was doing it in case one passed, but that didn't happen. Which is a good thing. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. But now I have one more than I should. I was talking to someone the other day who they have chickens. And they were like, they're getting 12. I was like, I ain't going that hard. So over here in this bed, put out some basil, but I believe we did that on camera. And then there are some zucchini plants right here in the middle, right in front of the peppers. And then we put some marigolds in here as well. And so I think this is probably gonna be the most. I could probably throw some beans in this middle section right here. And then maybe on the sides, I'm not sure. But this bed is now planted out. Bed over here has the leeks in the front. They've been in for a while. We put some marigolds in. These are zucchini that I direct sowed right here. And then that one over there is a direct sown zucchini. And then there's marigolds, and I put basil in between the peppers. So this bed is all planted out, although I could probably get a line of beans right in here. So I'll probably direct sow some beans in there as well. Then we threw some wormwood over in the orchard area. So even if it does spread, that's fine. I couldn't remember. I didn't feel like looking it up. And so it's right over here by that last apple tree that's near the trellis. It's turning into a forest over here, y'all. So I put some wormwood here, and I put some wormwood there. So if it does spread, if it does get huge, it'll cover this tree. This oregano is the one I was telling you we need to go ahead and harvest today. We harvested this one a little while ago, so it'll be growing back soon. What I did do too is cut down that portion of the raspberry bush that was here, just so that I can have a straight walk through here. So I cut that. This whole thing is still here. I am not gonna move this. I kind of decided I'm just gonna control it instead of move it, because I mean I could put it in a container, but I really don't want to do that either. So I'm just gonna control it instead of moving it. But that is pretty much what I did yesterday when the rain was like, forget you and your recorded. By the way, do y'all remember when I planted out my marigolds and there was one and I said I'm sure it's gonna die? It's not dying. It's actually trying to grow. So I left it there. So we have a few things. This is more wormwood and some lovage that did not die. These were direct sown. I mean, these were started from seeds. So I'm gonna find a spot for them too. They're medicinal herbs, something that I really wanted this year. So we're gonna go ahead and find a spot for them. That's an extra lavender still. I got so much lavender that's extra. So I'm just gonna leave that to do its thing. May take it to the library that I was telling you about. Also, there are a few basil that are still trying to live. I think this is a lemon basil, which I don't have. So I'm gonna plant these out too somewhere. And there's a basil back here that's still trying to live. There's one there. So we're gonna go ahead and plant those out today. And that will be the extent of planting for 2022. No, we're in 2023. That will be the extent of planting for 2023. I'm also gonna fertilize. I think I might have mentioned that yesterday. Glad that I didn't, because it rained, and it's better to fertilize when it's not going to rain. And now that the soil is saturated, it's good to fertilize because the soil is already wet. You need your soil to be moist when you fertilize so that the plants can pull up the fertilizer and the nutrients. By the way, completely forgot, we also still have plantain and nettle that need to be planted out. Also, probably gonna put that in the orchard area because I do think plantain and nettle both spread, because I think in most places they're kind of considered weeds. Also, I'm thinking maybe I'm not gonna put them in there. I might put them in a bag or in a pot, just because I know they will spread like a weed. But I do want them. Nettle, I know you can use for fertilizing, but I think you can also use it medicinally. And I do think the same thing for plantain. If I'm wrong, say it in the comment, because I could be wrong. I've looked up so many medicinal herbs that I don't remember at this point, but before I use it, of course, I will make sure. So everything is planted out now. I'm sure you can tell by the sun that you are seeing across this garden that it has gotten very hot outside. I wasn't able to record because my camera kept getting hot, but I planted everything out. I didn't, however, get around to harvesting this basil, and now it's droopy and stuff because it's gotten so hot out here. So we'll do that on another video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in the garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.